Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PBL cast, sponsored by White Claw. There are no laws when you have the claws out. Gonna alter it a little bit. Just a little bit. I am your three-time champion, Evan, head coach of the Saffron City Sneasels.
This man's on a 2-game losing streak, and he starts it off to clarify that he's still the two-time champion. Okay.
And with me, as always, is our special guest, the league's heel, Dan of the Ente.
The biggest heel now, playoff bound, bitches.
But that's not all. We also have our co-host with the best differential in the league, Zach of the Secret Garden Hoopas. Hello, Zach.
Hello, how's it going? It's officially fall, so I'm drinking my cider.
Cider? Oh, I'm much more of a PSL man myself.
Yeah.
And then, of course, not to be outdone, we do have someone in playoff contention, former commissioner, deceased commissioner, alive participant, Nick of the Scyther.
Oh, hey, that's me. Glad to be here, guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm real happy to be part of this.
I prefer the term has been.
Has been.
I mean,
yeah,
that's
good.
You're not wrong.
I'm a has-been champion, so
Yeah.
that works.
You had been the champion. Now you ain't.
Now I has been.
Now I has been.
Yeah.
And now I'm free.
Yes, you are.
No, you're
Absolutely.
actually the opposite of free. You got that rock, boy.
That's right.
You got that rock on that finger.
We have no time to waste.
We have no time to waste, so let's make haste.
Some of these people
We will
have
talk about
sports
Pokemon.
stuff to do.
Yes, because Dan and I are in a fantasy basketball league that is starting sooner than expected, so we will talk
Nerds.
about Pokemon battles. I lost to Zashay 6-4. Moving on.
Hold on.
No, I think we need to talk about this a little bit.
No, we will. We will.
Slow down.
My battle against Zashay, who all has watched it?
I have
Me.
watched it.
I thought it was a very good battle. I thought Zashay played a great game.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, as the person in the driver's seat, the biggest thing that cost me that game was not prioritizing the removal of stealth rocks.
Mhm.
I think that really hurt me towards the mid to late game, especially when I've got Zapdos and Araquanid on my team.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a chip,
And I
chip,
think
chip,
that I can also
chip,
trace
chip.
back my loss against Ian the previous week to not removing stealth rocks. I think that my team is a little on the weaker side to rocks, and that can really put the hurt on me.
Oh, yeah.
I have.
It brings
have
the
a quick
pain.
question for you. What dirt does Zashay have on you that he's beaten you twice in a row since you left? Like this is you're clearly throwing, and this is illusion. What does he have on you?
I'm not going to say that there are tapes,
Okay.
and I have been to some foreign hotels,
Okay.
but he doesn't have any official dirt, is what I was saying.
Is it your blackface pictures? He has those.
Well,
No.
Halloween's coming around, and
Hey,
I think I can
Evan
get a tape
is
for you.
American, not Canadian. Come on.
Evan, he just looks
Yeah.
costume.
I just like
He
costumes.
just looks costume.
Evan Trudeau.
Yeah, so I thought it was a really good match. I was disappointed by the end result, but I didn't feel like I had any glaring misplays. There wasn't some harsh RNG. I actually had a couple things go my way, but it didn't really swing the match.
Yeah.
So
And then
all in
you-
all, it was a good match. I got to give it to Zashay. I don't mind losing to Ian, and I don't mind Zashay because they're two of the top competitors. They're both playoff bound, and it's not like I'm losing to somebody who brings Pick-a-Peck to the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
would lose to Jake with his pick-a-peck? Who would lose to that?
Just losers.
Get a kill.
Getting a single kill is just insane.
Yeah,
Us,
yeah.
just one.
Yeah.
Only one kill.
Who would lose 2 Pokemon to pick-a-peck? It's just ridiculous. It's
just
just so
madness.
ridiculous.
Kill themselves, right?
But yeah, I liked your guys' match. PZ has shown up in style as
And
well.
that disgusting adaptability.
I want to talk about one thing now that we bring up Porygon Z, the Pokemon, not the team.
Yeah.
That thing was Modest Choice Scarf.
Yeah.
Were it Timid Choice Scarf or any other set, my Nidoking survives that, and his Focus Blast was a guaranteed OHKO. So I
Mhm.
was very, very sad by that. It was a guaranteed survival, and
just
but he was Modest and Scarf.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
He often when he has a choice item, he'll compensate his nature for it. That's something he likes to do.
Which is it's a good strategy.
Yeah, but I understand it, but a lot of times I don't like to do it because like say you had a Scarf Nidoking, then he's now outsped by your Scarf Nidoking.
Right. That week I was bringing Assault Vest to be able
Yeah.
to completely destroy a Raikou that did not make an appearance.
I feel that.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it'd be that way.
I definitely do.
Well, moving on, let's talk about someone who's probably a little bit happier right now.
Yeah.
Zach, you faced off against your friend Isaiah.
Isaiah.
Isaiah. And this is the only match that I did not get to watch this week. So take us through it.
Okay. Well, I think to start, Isaiah did something I don't recommend anyone do. And he prepped for me to bring all my memes against him. Because he did not trust that I would play seriously, and he thought I would bring all the memes I've used against him on Showdown over the past few months. And so he prepped a lot for Ambipom and Archeops, and I brought neither of them. So I took it very seriously, and I played him seriously, and the result was what it was. He didn't bring a lot of the things I was scared of. And I basically had answers for everything he had.
I heard there was no Hippodon.
Yeah, he did not bring Hippowdon.
Big hippo.
He was scared of my Venusaur and my Greninja, which I suppose is fair because I did spec them specifically to take down Hippowdon. But I still think you bring it, even in the with those two bad matchups. You bring it because it works well.
Neither of them can. Maybe Specs Greninja.
Yeah,
might be able to OHKO with Hydro Pump.
Greninja could OHKO.
I don't think Venusaur could OHKO it.
No, but it 2-hit KOs and he can't do anything back to Venusaur.
This is true.
So,
Ice Fang, man.
You might as well just Earthquake. But I spec specifically so that minimum would do over 50% with Venusaur, and Greninja had specs to OHKO.
Gotcha.
But when his Latias was out, my Florges came out and took 25% maybe. Every time, and it just repeated itself until eventually he just fell down.
That big special defense, man. It's hard to break through.
One thing he did bring that was really interesting was he brought Z Sky Attack Aerodactyl.
Ooh, spicy.
Because when Aerodactyl came out, I was like, all right, this thing's gonna Z Fly me because Isaiah knows what he needs to do here. He's gonna Z Fly me. So I switched into my Scizor that I was like, okay, Z Fly is gonna do 60% to Scizor. Then I took it and it did 90%. And I was like, okay, what is this? What is this move? And then he showed it later. It was Sky Attack, which my Komodo took a stab Sky Attack from an Aerodactyl.
He did.
And hit it back. My Komodo has only been defensive all season. I brought it 2 times and it's been physically defensive Komodo.
Well, it's got to be defensive when its face is so offensive.
Yeah.
That Bubble Yum shiny is delicious.
Yeah, so delicious. He literally has just
Crobat. I ship them.
That pink and yellow combo, perfection.
But yeah, I think if Isaiah gets another go at it, he'll do better than he did this time because he knows I'm going to take it seriously.
That's very fair. And is Isaiah now out of playoff contention? No, he's still hanging in there.
No, it's actually, we're going to lead up to a very amazing matchup next week.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in a moment. Next, we have the Entei. I always say Entei because I think of Dan and Hentai.
Yep, that's same.
The Entei versus the Stantlers. And I actually watched this match, and this one was a doozy. Take us through it.
Oh boy. Okay. So I thought I was in control for a fat minute there. And that's exactly what Jacob wanted because I had a lot of low mons. I think at the last few turns there, I had Swampert and Thundurus both in red. And then a pretty healthy Mandibuzz. And basically I was staring down a Lucario. I'm like, okay, I can taunt because basically in my mind, I'm like, he's going to Sword Stance. There's no doubt in my mind he's Sword Stancing. So what can I do here? I was thinking about taunting, no, I'm slower. It's going to be basically useless. And I just U-turned, and I was right. And then he sends me a message, that's the game, and I'm like, that might actually be the game. And I just kept switching and switching and switching, screaming as all my Pokemon are dying around me. I'm running in circles, just screaming. And thank Christ. I managed to land on the perfect turn where Lucario just drops to Life Orb damage and I win by 1 Pokemon right as Lucario absolutely would have just murdered Mandibuzz with close combat.
Yeah.
Thus sealing the deal.
When you use the orb, sometimes you die.
I am officially the greatest. That was all planned. I did the insane math calculation. I knew exactly what I was doing the entire time.
Yeah, it was an interesting match. Obviously the life orb taking Jacob out of it, but
You gotta make
there
that
was a
blood
play.
sacrifice sometimes.
Yeah, you do when you have life orb. But there was a play earlier in the match that I was kind of thrown off by. Jacob just completely giving up a substitute on his Gengar.
Back and
Right.
Because even if Ludicolo set up Rain, which I don't think is likely that Dan will start setting up when there's a Gengar behind a sub in front of him. But even if Dan had the guts to do that, I mean that's still of 2 hexes because you get to hex him once, and then Dan still has to break your sub, and you can hex him again, and then Lucario can probably come in and finish with extreme speed. So he just gave up his Gengar, brought in Klefki, and Klefki died because Dan did not Rain Dance. He just scalded.
Yeah, that was a weird move. I'm guessing he either it was the prediction of a double switch or he was really prioritizing tempo over value.
Oh,
Getting a good switch. But I think if you got your sub up, unless it's like a worst case scenario, you cash in on that free hit.
Yeah, and he said it was because he predicted Rain Dance. He spoke to us, but I don't think he mapped out like he's gonna get 2 hits if Dan Rain Dances.
Also, he was
whatever.
Upset that Ludicolo did not die from the Leaf Storm from Clapback.
What was that? 4 HP?
Yeah.
That he held on with 4. Oh boy.
The counts that I did, I think I drew a little bit of special defense. The counts that I got, I lived. It was like a 98% chance of it was a 6.3% chance of the Oko. With life orb recoil, that probably knocked it up to about probably like 90 or so. So I got really lucky on that one, but I also had a little bit of special defense investment that he didn't count for. So
yeah,
that'll do it. I mean, he's got 100 special defense on Ludicolo. That's a decent enough amount.
Yeah,
it's workable.
Ludicolo, fun Pokemon,
right? He's having a great time. He's just dancing. He's having a good day.
The more I look at that thing's face, the more I'm confused by it.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of detail in that little guy.
He's having a good time.
He's like a pineapple with a sombrero.
Yeah.
But he's also got like a duckbill mouth.
Yeah.
I know.
And then the Detective Pikachu movie did nothing to help us understand what he is.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
The entire battle that Gengar scared me because I assumed it would be Choice Scarfed, because no matter what, in rain, even if I'm Jolly, a Choice Scarf Gengar outspeeds by 1 for Mega Swampert.
Really?
With, no matter what. And he can hit with Energy Ball. So when I saw that Gengar, I was just like, nah.
You only need 110 speed to outspeed your Swampert in rain?
Scarfed, yeah.
Yeah.
Full speed investment Scarfed, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
take no, listeners.
All right. I mean, no, it loses by 5.
Because the speed is what, 70?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on from that match, we have Dunsparce v. Weedles. That is Chris versus Cheryl. And I don't know if you guys watched this battle, but I thought there were a couple interesting things here.
Skip through it.
I know before we started recording, we were talking about Metagross and the usage of said Metagross.
Yes.
We believe he was banded again this week?
I'm assuming, because otherwise there's no reason he should have left in the situation he did leave. With
For the record,
8
Dan,
HP superior in front of him.
Always calc at level 50 because Swampert outspeeds by 1.
Bitch ass.
Oh.
At level 100, Gengar outspeeds by 1.
Looks like Dan made an oopsie there.
Anyway, yeah, this was an interesting match. I felt that Chris got a little unlucky in the very beginning of it. Like I forgot what it was, but like 2 or 3 turns in a row, he just had like unfortunate things happen. Like one turn, he missed a toxic and got scald burned in the.
Yes,
same
he
turn.
did.
Yeah. Can we talk about? Okay, this is so funny. I believe it was turn 1. Fortress running Signal Beam. Instead of a physical move
to hit that Celebi.
Celebi.
I was shook by that because like even though it was a crit, and that's what made me think. I wonder if that crit mattered because Fortress, unless Cheryl invested in that, does not have a very impressive special attack.
And I think it has other bug moves. I don't know why Cheryl did that, but it worked and it was amazing. It killed. It OHKO'd.
Fucking God.
I mean, you
Yeah,
get
it's
another
like-
thing later too, where Gastrodon eats an energy ball from Manaphy.
Yeah.
That's a thing that happens.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm
Maybe it was max
just
special defense.
looking at the calcs. Like, yeah, that Gastron absolutely had to be big special defense.
Yeah.
But like, the only way you can guarantee an Oko is like max special attack Fortress, which I assume Cheryl was not.
Hey man,
So-
you never know. Don't judge. That
But
nug
I
can
mean,
do work.
maybe she did, but otherwise, big crits.
Big nug.
Crit was calculated.
It was a calculated crit. Also, this was another match where the hazards made a huge difference.
Yeah.
Cheryl got up those
Mhm.
rocks, which took a serious toll on Chris's
yeah.
team.
Mhm.
And my favorite thing about this matchup was the cleanup in the end, because
Mhm.
Cheryl was running Dragonite with Choice Scarf, which
Yeah.
I think is a very
Ooh.
off meta type of pick for a Dragonite. It gets
Mhm.
extreme speed in Dragon Dance.
And
But I mean,
fly.
Choice Scar Fly.
Yeah. But that
Um,
EQ just cleaned up in the end.
Yeah, it did.
Right.
I thought that was a good bring, to be honest, because people don't expect things like that to be scarfed.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheryl,
Especially with like Haxorus was one that I was thinking of before. That would be like a good scarfer to bring one week. So, yeah.
yeah, it's spicy. Cheryl was practicing that one for a few weeks actually on Showdown with me.
Hmm.
So I was waiting for her to finally bring out the Choice Scarf Dragonite.
And she done. And it do.
We will talk more about Cheryl and her playoff aspirations later.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Moving on, though, we have Fearos versus Ludicolo's.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
And have you guys watched this match?
I believe I watched it. I need to look at their rosters again to remember what happened.
Yeah.
Can you get us
You-
started, Zach?
You may have watched it, but you may not have understood it because
That's probably fair.
David has been bringing some real
Oh,
real
yes.
heat sets.
He brought
he
the
brought
Rolling
some-
Golem. He brought the he brought the Rhyperior.
That was
I think it
I'm pretty sure that is a scarfed Rhyperior as well.
Oh wow!
All
He
right.
brought, or
All right.
it's either scarfed or maybe it wasn't scarfed, but it was at least max speed.
I assume Magnapole Golem.
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure.
But I know that he also brought. He was the first one to do this. Although I believe many of us talked about this. Oh no, I take that back. Manaphy Z Rain Dance has happened, but
Yeah.
Vaporeon Z Rain Dance
Mm.
only to still die. Tapu Koko.
Yeah, that's an interesting move.
Well, first he aqua ringed, then
Oh,
he
yeah.
Z rain danced.
The Aqua Ring as well, very spicy. David has done a lot of memes this season,
Yes.
and they haven't really paid off. I will say he has used his Hoopa very well, and Hoopa did a lot of wall breaking this week.
That thing's
Yeah.
scary. Its offensive stats are terrifying.
Yeah, I think what happened at the end is Raul was kind of playing the game where he just lets something go, and then Coco comes in and threatens again, and it was just like rinse and repeat. At one point, Hoopa got his item knocked off, I think, and then he like hit Gligar and stole his Eviolite with Magician.
There you go.
So like that was a really nice play for David. He got his life orb knocked off, but he stole Eviolite, so it was
That's
interesting.
pretty nice.
He likes throwing that, using that fling on his Hoopa. He used it
Yeah.
against me and he was
Yeah.
chucking an iron ball.
Fling Iron Ball.
That was
that's nice.
terrifying.
Raul is showing why Coco is better than Jolteon
You're
because that
blasphemy.
those U-turns in the early game were just running through the Fearos. He had no answer for it, but he had to switch out to respect the Coco.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the momentum that was just being pulled out of that repeatedly was just that was the difference maker in that game. The MVP of that match is the Tapu Koko.
Yeah, I mean, it was an easy pick for him when Hoopa was out because you U-turn and kill Hoopa, or David has to switch and you
Mhm.
U-turn anyway.
Yep.
Because Hoopa's dying to a U-turn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was extremely useful for him. I know Raul brought a different kind of set this week. It was max HP, I think.
Ooh.
Max HP with Roost and a life orb just to keep throwing things down.
There you go.
And he surprisingly takes hits very well with max HP. So
Coco does. Coco's stats, they're average. They're not horrible defensively. They're average.
Well, then one nice thing for him too is electric fairy typing, which means that steel weakness that a lot of people bank on with fairies gets neutered.
I know at the end, Raul was scared of a bullet punch. He was at like just under half, and he was scared of a bullet punch from a champ. And I was like, Trez,
hey,
bullet punch does like 20%. Like, you're good.
Hey, if you burn a non-guts Machamp and put up a reflect, those bullet punches do nothing to anything.
Yeah, well, this was a non-guts Machamp.
Yes, we were seeing
dynamic punch.
no guard. He brought out the dynamic punch, which is a move that has been cursed by the nerf to confusion.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's still fun though, on specifically no guard Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, that was something that actually, when I fought David, him throwing out those dynamic punches let me know that he was no guard, which let me burn him for free because I was like, well, I don't have to worry about guts boost, and then I can burn him and he can't do as much damage.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a show there.
Yeah, once you reveal it, yeah. Unless you're just ballsy and you're trusted that 50%. You called their bluff.
In the regular season, Mike did it with Zap Cannon.
Zap Cannon.
We have one last week to see if David is going to pull off the Machamp meme set that he has talked about to me personally a few times, and we haven't seen it yet this season. So I'm holding out hope.
We'll see.
Moving on,
this match gave Raul some good momentum. Hopefully he
playoff
can cash in on it. I mean, I thought the loss to Dan off of a high jump kick miss might have just like stunted all momentum he had, but I mean, he still got it. So
you mean pure skill?
Yeah.
Yes, Dan.
Dan,
pure skill on your part.
I just want to talk about how you swords danced on that high jump kick. Like you were counting on that 10%.
That was a prayer.
Yeah.
That was a Hail Mary.
Anyway, we can move on now.
Moving on, we have Quillfishes versus Scythers. That's Ian versus Nick.
Yep.
Nick, tell us a little bit about this match.
So the one thing going into this match, this isn't as an excuse because Zache made a great team. I had him throw together a team because he loves to make very interesting sets. And he did. He made a very interesting team for me to use this week. But one of the issues with that was Ian did not bring his top 5 picks. He brought all of his lower tier picks, and 2 of the big things on my team, my Goodra and my Slowbro, were both built to deal with his high tier picks. So both of them kind of just sat there, and the set he gave me for Slowbro is not something I use. It was kind of disgusting. Calm Mind, Whirlpool, Scald, I think. It was something. Or not
Which
Scald.
is something,
Scub,
yeah, it's something.
Yeah, Sub, Calm Mind, Slack Off, Whirlpool. That's what it was.
Which is something the plan is to trap something that can't do over half to you and just start calm minding all over it while it's trapped in your whirlpool.
Yes.
All right, I see. I mean, it's a heat set. I'll just give it to it.
It was, I think a big part of it was for melodic, because my melodic's going to come into my Scalds, come into my Ice Beams, and then I can just trap it with a whirlpool, and then it can't do anything to me while I just sit there and keep healing and setting up on it.
You might run out of PP before you break through that thing, though.
Yeah. I don't think you would break melodic.
Even you'd have to get to +4, +4, or sorry, +6, +6.
And your whirlpool will still not do enough.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, that was a set that he gave me, and it was a thing that did things.
Okay.
But otherwise, it was an interesting fight. Ian.
Very important segment here on the podcast here, since we're talking about the Quillfishes. We have to get to the Schulte Schlurp Down presented by White Claw.
Yeah, you can do that. All right, there you go.
I took a knee.
Yeah.
I took a knee. I'm protesting this movement.
Yeah. My cup is also empty. I can't slurp.
My cider is gone.
Hey bro, you slurp?
Hey bro, you slurp.
I don't slurp. No, but I gotta give huge props to Buzzwole for that fight, because he faced down a Comfey, and he ain't never scared.
I honestly love seeing Buzzwole. I want to see Buzzwole more.
He's so cool.
Yeah,
the big swole.
It really is.
And I love that every time anything happens to him, he just flexes. He gets killed, he's flexing. He throws down a big attack, he's flexing. He don't care, he's flexing.
Flex on his opponents.
Yeah.
He's a registered flex offender.
Yeah.
Flex offender.
Right, yeah, that's what Dan was offended I did not name my Buzzwole, but no, that is not how I roll.
You have the lamest name for it because literally its name.
I don't know what you're talking about. He's swole. Buzz swole.
It's like
Do you get it?
Like the nickname is the like, hey, do you get it? Here, let me spell the joke for you. Literally.
I think it's really cool, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Last match.
Last and least, we've got Greg versus Jake. Typhlosions versus Pick-a-Pex. And I just watched this one. I was kind of watching out of one eye while I was trying to figure out audio issues, but it was a weird match for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was definitely weird.
No one wants to talk about this match.
It starts off with just a giant death of Kyron Black. Just first turn, boom, dead.
How? What happened?
Greg led KB and Jake led Salamence, which Jake has led Salamence like 3 weeks in a row now or something.
Yeah.
It's a solid lead.
And Salamence just outraged KB, and it was like over right there.
Well, and then that gave him +1, and then Amoongus comes in and survives with like a red HP. I think it was like 24 maybe off of the +1 outrage. So it almost just ended right there.
And Greg doesn't have, well, actually he does, but if he had a fairy move on his Togekiss, it could come in and steal momentum at that point, but he brought in Amoongus instead.
Yep.
Strange call. Greg, he's a lot of learning pains, a lot of growing pains.
Hey, he's learned one thing. He's learned how to Mega Evolve. That's something.
That joke is dead. So I mean, at least there's that. I guess.
Yeah, he has snuffed out that joke.
I'll still bring it up.
I feel like he's played with his Mega a lot better now.
He has. I think Lopunny has done significant work in the latter games.
Yes.
He finally figured it out.
But now he's facing other issues. Like, I don't know if he always makes the best plays. I don't know if he gets flustered in the match or whatever, but
I can't tell if it's overthinking or lack of game experience or underthinking. I'm not sure. I think he needs to slow himself down.
yeah.
Because I saw like in the Discord, he was already talking about like, oh, I wish there was the cancel button on the DS. And that's a sign that you're moving too fast. And
Yeah.
Or that you're too used to showdown mechanics.
Or you're too used to showdown. But you've got what, 90 seconds, 120 seconds?
Yeah, 90, I think.
You've got time. Take your time, breathe, do your calcs if you need to. Talk out. I think one thing that's super helpful if you're not battling the person in the room, talk out loud.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think
That's what I
something
did.
that actually really help him.
When I battled Isaiah, I was like, Sky Attack? What is this?
Well, that's yeah. I mean, I think I regularly use 30 to 5 seconds each turn.
Yeah, Dan, you are a very slow battler.
Yeah, well, whatever.
I mean, he should have had time too, because I know Jake, when I've battled him, he's usually a
Yes, Dan and Jake
concentrated
have taken
person.
Jake is a
put it
very
that
slow
way.
battler. Cheryl's a slow battler.
They take their time for sure.
Ooh.
Like, I'll think about what I do, but, you know, I usually take 20 to 30 seconds maybe.
Yeah. I just try to think through other possibilities and just, am I missing something obvious? Look at my notes real quick.
I don't
Yeah.
take more than 3 seconds per turn. Just saying.
My big
Every
thing
turn,
is
just boom. Lock it in.
Which,
Yeah.
one thing I failed to mention with Raul's match, he baton passed a Swords Dance into his Haxorus.
Terrifying.
And then he Dragon Danced with it to try to seal it right then and there, forgetting that Bronzong had Gyro Ball. So he got a little too greedy and lost it.
Oh.
I was just thinking, like, imagine a +3/+1 Haxorus staring your team down.
No,
Like,
thank you.
you're in trouble.
Yeah, no, thank you.
But yeah,
But
Jake
that-
ended up cleaning up with the Salamence in the end, with
Yeah.
the Aurora Veil coming in clutch to keep the Salamence alive against a Celesteela's HP Ice.
Mm-hmm. And you know, Greg has talked about like having people help him, so I gave him some pointers in this match. You know, like things to look out for. He showed me his sets that he made it completely himself, and I was like, okay, this is how you should do this and stuff. And he built himself a sweeping Celesteela with weakness policy.
It's a good bet.
And he had, I think, 2 or 3 opportunities to like start that sweep, but he just kept switching out of the Heatran. And it's like you gotta take a super effective hit if you want this weakness policy. Like you gotta do
That's
it.
how it works. And if
because
you're
there was-
afraid of surviving it, that's where you got to start throwing in your screens.
because like midway point, if he just autotomized while Heatran Magma Stormed, this was a max special defense Celesteela. The only way Heatran's OHKOing is like with specs, max special attack specs or something.
Mhm.
So
He
you
also
live,
didn't-
you get your +2, you get your weakness policy, and then he has heavy slam and earthquake and HP ice to like take on the rest of the team pretty much.
Okay.
Right. And he got already a +1 special defense, right?
Yeah, that was
And-
the second time around.
Yeah. So-
And he had +1 special defense and switched out, which at that point he was burned, so he might have been like, I can't earthquake here, but
If
still
you're gonna
at that
be
point,
between, like overly reckless and overly cautious, it's way better to be overly reckless because you'll get lucky or you'll catch someone off guard and you'll win sometimes. If you're overly cautious, you're never gonna win.
Mhm.
You
well,
gotta
my
take a
thing
big
is just if you make a plan, stick to it.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
If you make a plan and then don't follow it, it's not going to work, obviously. So
Man, brain is the best thing to do. It's so stupid, no one will ever expect it. That's why I'm going to do it.
But I do think that that's a good point that Zach makes. That if you make a plan, you can't get rattled. You got to stick to your strategy. You got to adjust, but you can't give up on everything you've invested in.
yeah.
And you look at Nick's team and go, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah.
What the fuck is he going to do?
All right, well, that's all matches at least, so we can move on to the next section.
Standings?
Playoffs and standings.
Mhm.
Standings. I assume Nick has pulled up the standings for
Yes,
us.
they are up.
Thoughts, everybody?
Well,
Looking at you with that big differential
yeah.
in the Eastern Conference, the significant differential lead you have over the rest of your division. Or your
Yeah,
conference, I guess.
I have quite a differential lead over the conference. I think it's to the point where I could lose 6-0 to Cheryl and still have first place. So
Not
I'm-
first place overall, unless
first
Evan
place in
lost significantly.
first seed in the East.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
is what I
You're
mean.
Yeah,
locked in
definitely.
there.
So you know,
Differential next week. We are going to have a team in the playoffs with a negative ratio.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, if we're looking
Possibly.
in the East, it's
no, it's not possible because the Caterpies and Ludicolo play each other next week.
oh my god,
Oh,
that's
Um,
basically
well,
a playoff match right
I
there.
mean,
Yeah,
if the Ludicolos 6-0, they still have a negative differential. They will still be at -1.
okay, yeah. I mean,
And
there
they will
could
be at a
well,
4-4
I think he meant a negative win-loss.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I meant the
No.
differential there, but I didn't know they face each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And don't worry, the pick-a-pecks are guaranteed a negative differential and have a chance for play.
Yes,
yes.
this is true.
I'm now extremely excited for Caterpies v Ludicolos. And
I
Zach,
know.
these are your two boys.
Yeah, I'm having them battle in front of me.
That's so fun. That's so
Perform
fun.
for me, monkeys.
I was like, you guys have to battle in front of me in my living room, so
There
I
you
hope
go.
you're ready.
That is definitely the matchup to watch. I'm going to plug my own match a little bit because while I'm guaranteed in playoffs, I do not have a lock for the 1 seed. Ian is extremely close behind me. And I
Mhm.
battled Jake, who almost guaranteed needs his win against me, or at least a really good outing to be
Yeah.
able to lock in playoffs.
Yes.
Because if he loses to me and Nick wins against who are you facing?
I face the
Okay.
Zeds, our reigning
Zeds.
champion.
Then you make playoffs and he does not.
Mhm.
I really want that 1 seed because I've had some bad luck against Zache in the past, and I don't really want to have to face him round 1 right now.
You say in
Yeah.
the past like you didn't lose the 2 matches you played again.
I also beat him once. Yeah,
That's a thing.
in the regular
Oh,
season
right.
of that year. Yeah. So I'm
Dan
1 and
only
2.
remembers what he wants to remember.
Yeah, selective memory. Man. Also, who cares about the? Who cares about
There is no Warren
What about
Bussing set.
playoffs?
the playoffs? Playoffs.
But yeah, I mean, this is Jake's spot to lose.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is.
I want
Because-
this man to get in with a negative differential.
I do too.
I want.
I mean, even if he 6-0 sweeps, he's still at a -2 differential.
So many
Yeah.
6-0s you have.
So
Yeah.
it comes down to Nick. You got to beat Zache to stop that from
Yeah,
happening.
I'm hoping I can.
And
So,
honestly,
it's a
like
big ask.
I don't really see Isaiah and Raul going to like a 6-0. So I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
extremely possible that whoever wins out of that will still have a negative differential.
I agree with that.
Even Isaiah.
I'll say for my matchup against Jake, I am not pulling punches because I'm on an 0-2 losing streak and I want to come back hard. I also want to have best differential in my conference. So I'm looking to 6-0 him.
Do it.
I am kind of locked.
Man of the
Put him in his
people.
place.
I am also locked into bringing 2 Pokemon because there are still 2 Pokemon that have not made an appearance yet this season.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got a few people who need to bring stuff, myself included.
Diancie and
Uh,
Stoutland.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that, but I kind of like went in the whole idea if I beat Isaiah, it doesn't matter, so I can bring everything at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I have a little breathing room, and I can bring the stuff I need to bring.
Jake got his Soul Rock out of the way, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to get to see that. Will he bring his pickup though, with playoff contention on the line? That's the question.
Does he know that playoff contention is on the line? Is the
Yeah, I
next
told him.
question. Oh, okay.
I've got to bring my
maybe.
Kabu tops, so see how that
Ooh,
does.
you shouldn't have said it. You have to make them do the research.
I mean, I have to bring it, man.
No, but you shouldn't have said it. Make
Well, I already
Sashay
said
look
it
up.
3 days ago, so it's already out there.
Damn it, Nick! You just fucking baited yourself out.
Yeah. And who does Greg have for the last matchup of the season?
Greg, I believe has. Let me think. I'm gonna.
I can
He's got
bring
one
this
chance
up
left to get on that scoreboard.
David, I believe.
That's a good chance. David's been bringing a lot of
David,
memes.
Yes, he does. He does face David.
Don't let him win. Make him be the Miami Dolphins lead.
I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with that one. Honestly, do we get the golden diamond triple sombrero, which is what I'm going to call it temporarily,
Okay.
or the zero IV serious nature Magikarp?
I see.
I'm trying to figure out what we can call a winless season, other than just a really bad season.
I mean, this is an off season, so it's a little different. But we've never had a totally winless season for a team.
That's true. This is a shorter season.
So he doesn't
So I
have
think
the
that is fair to
redemption
mention.
arc
We've
in
had
the second
close
half
also.
of the
We've
season.
had close to winless.
Yes, we have. We definitely have.
So I'm excited to see if he can at least get on the board. I'm actually rooting for Greg here. I don't want to see this dude go 0-8.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
just a bad
either.
look.
Nah, I want season. I need it. I need that differential.
Dan feels that Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
He feels it hard.
Yeah.
He likes to
so we
watch
got a
them
lot to look
suffer.
forward to next week. Any other battles that catch your guys' eyes?
I mean, I do battle Cheryl, and I'm not just gonna phone it in. I am gonna battle Cheryl seriously.
Right.
So that hopefully that'll be a good match. Cheryl's team is always scary. Lots of setup and
We'll have
everything.
Ian versus Jacob. That should be an interesting match.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wrangling Chris down. I know where he is. I have my net gun. I'm
Oh,
gonna make
good.
sure that I catch him and then I sit him down and make him play match.
There you go.
And I'm going to dunk on him.
He can't hide from you.
No, you can't.
For the-
I know him. I know where he's out.
There you go.
I know where your
For the
bet
record,
is.
Dan, the only reason you are clinched is because the Caterpies and Ludicolos play each other. Otherwise, you would not be clinched. So,
Hey, whatever. I'm fine. I dunked on.
so there it is.
Well, I think that's going to do it for this week's episode, unless there's anything else you guys want.
Nah, we don't
I
really
think
need to look
we've-
at the matchups specifically.
Yeah.
We kind of
Oh.
touched on them all.
By the way, Dan, will you be hosting the finals event?
Oh, right.
As long as I know what day it is, because I got tagged 4 times and never got a date.
We will discuss that further.
Fair enough.
So, listeners, check Discord, because I assume if you listen, you are in the Discord.
Hey, what about
Yeah, pretty much.
we had our one fan,
Oh yeah, you're right.
Hey,
So,
Raul.
Swagmaster 79 or something.
I think we lost
oh,
them.
I mean,
Oh
hey,
my god, how are we forgetting about Swagmaster?
aka Hey Raul's alt account,
Say, what? That'd be so disappointing.
No, I've
Swagmaster though.
I've
we love
looked at
you.
his I've looked at
You don't know why you
Swagmaster's
like us, but
videos.
we love you.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we're gonna have to call it a day,
Mhm.
because I have to do a different nerdy thing, but it involves sports.
Yeah, we're gonna dunk on each
Who
other.
watches sports?
But we got to be ready for next week. It's going to be a big episode next week talking about playoffs. So
Mhm.
Yeah, we're expecting to have Ian on the call. So if you're not a fan of Ian, skip that one.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not
For
gonna
sure.
fuck.
Or
There
just
we
like
go.
put your slurps up.
Put your slurps up.
Slurps up.
Slurps in the back.
Slurps up. All right, guys. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm out of here.
Gotta go
See ya.
Gotta get more cider. You gotta fill up on your PSLs and your cider.